So I'm here with Cecilia Andersson of UN Habitat's Global Public Space Program. Welcome, Cecilia. So can you tell us a little bit about the work of UN Habitat and in particular your work with the Global Public Space Program?
Yeah, UN Habitat works on sustainable urbanization, sometimes called the City Agency, because we focus a lot on cities and towns and all the issues regarding sustainable urbanization around that. So I actually work specifically with public space. Public space was sort of mainstreamed within different programs within UN Habitat over the years, since its inception actually, usually through urban management, urban safety, urban mobility, and it was only recently in 2011, 2012 when there was a specific resolution that created then a specific unit within UN Habitat to work on public space.
And a lot of your efforts the last few years have been towards Habitat 3 and the New Urban Agenda. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, I think actually, well, first of all, let's start with the SDGs, because I think a lot of the lobbying and the advocacy started to be able to at least ensure that there was some sort of element or something around public space within the Sustainable Development Goals. And that was a key milestone when we actually got a target within the Sustainable Development Goal, or the goal that is about sustainable urban development, a specific target then on public space. So cities and governments actually need to achieve by 2030 safe, accessible and inclusive public space, green and public spaces for women, children, people with disabilities and the elderly. And that is an absolute achievement, I think. That also then fed into the Habitat Agenda, and that whole process leading up to the Habitat Agenda of mobilizing partners to be able to get some of those key messages around public space into the New Urban Agenda. And really excited, there are actually 10 references in the New Urban Agenda on public space. So with different entry points. Sometimes it's violence against women, sometimes it's slum upgrading, other times it's about urban renewal. So, but we're very happy that it's very, very strong within the New Urban Agenda.
And that document was adopted by 193 member states 2 years ago. Now we're here in Kuala Lumpur for the World Urban Forum, which is focusing on implementation of the New Urban Agenda. Yeah. So what are some of the key challenges from the implementation standpoint?
Oh, I think key challenges are a lot with the local governments actually. I think we need to actually support local governments, both from community level but also from international organizations and research institutions. We need to support local governments in being able to deliver on this. And it's not an easy job. And they, sometimes I think a lot of the governments that we work with are actually grappling with resources just for basic needs, to provide basic services to the population. So we really need to sort of step up and try and support those countries and local governments in doing that.
And you've been having a lot of conversations over the last couple of days. What are some key takeaways from the World Urban Forum?
I think I was actually really excited this World Urban Forum. I think this has been the most public space events that have taken place. So it just shows that there's a lot of interest in the subject matter. I think it's also a really tangible area where, you know, with public space you'll find different how do you say, thematic areas coming in. So you can talk about public space from a safety perspective, from a health perspective, from an environmental perspective, from mobility, and so it's actually in the public space where all of this happens. And I think we've seen that actually through the whole of the World Urban Forum, where public space has sort of popped up in all these different areas.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Cecilia.